Hey Sonar. Hey Sonar. What's going on? Yeah, I figure I'd make a hockey mask. You like the way it's set up? You see, I've got the central antenna coming in from up here. But don't forget, am I a monkey? Does this look like a monkey? So it's up here, so the monkey scratches his head. But then if we turn it the other way, okay, am I a man? Because the information now is down here. What was up there is now gone. And this becomes the man, because man is always scratching his chin, and everything that comes out of this hole over here, this is his biggest asshole in the world. This mouthpiece over here is connected right to your derriere. What's happening, man? When I look at the picture, I like it better. But this is connected to this, is connected to your ass. So you got three elements connected right in a row. Okay? You have your head, it's connected all around. 2 eyes in the front, 2 ears on each side, nothing in the back. Now, I wasn't going to do this for you, but you know what? If you want to know part of the story, I'm not going to tell you when I was 10 years old and had these visions, and I used to wake up and I was going nuts. I was going nuts. What was it? I can barely make it out, but what I did make out, it had to do with letters and numbers, but it was just so screwed up. And I couldn't stop crying, and I was screwed up like I was in another world. Hold on a second. Okay? So that's what happened early, and then when I was 41, I saw Mary the Christ up in the sky, and she told me 7286, and she told me I must remarry in the heavens. Life is starting all over again. So when I got home, I checked it up on the computer, and I looked it up 7286, and what came up was Dragon Ball Z 7286. On the 13th line, it said I had to remarry in the heavens. Now, am I supposed to believe any of this? This is weird, man. And all of a sudden I started seeing, when I saw something, it was more than just something. It wasn't a sign. It was a sign with shapes, and it was discolored, and it was foggy and hazy. And I says, holy fuck, I ain't smoking enough weed. That must be the problem. So I'd go out and I'd see what would happen. I'd take out a little joint and I smoke it. And all of a sudden I'm touching things, and it feels like my arms are up here when the piece is down here, but I'm actually holding it. But it felt like I was this distance away. That's what happened at that time, is your two minds. It's your seeing with the other mind that's at a distance. The little ball that's on one side of the head that's connected to us. Nobody's actually here. We're human beings. Anyways, let me continue with this. So I started feeling this, and I ended up in the hospital at the end because everything was screwed up. And they gave me pills, and I wanted to get out. I didn't understand, and no one can tell me the whole story. I saw something that I believed, and everybody's telling me I'm sick. But I believed what I saw. It came to be that I could explain what I saw, but just nobody even wanted to listen at that point. In fact, everybody basically since then stopped talking to me. Because when I look at things like this, okay, this is all coded. Forget about where they put the letters. What you see, what I see is something different. So yeah, I got out of the hospital and I said, oh my God, music and this song and that number and this number and that number and the cards and this card and that card and whatever I did, wherever I went, the license plates. For 5 years it was like, and I'm scratching my head for 5 years. Like a monkey, you know what I'm saying? Till finally last year it clicks, just like out of nowhere. And it's almost like I know everything. I know how to complete things and how to find patterns, and by chopping a cube in half, what you're actually left with if you gave every part of that cube, okay, a block sense, which means Rubik's Cube. Okay, block sense, you have to block all your numbers inside, outside, and all around the whole thing. I call it block sense. So then I was able to say to myself, you know what? Everybody tells me I know nothing. Well, hold on a second. They were talking all night long, and I know nothing, but I heard what they said to actually what they said. And it didn't matter because they were just talking, but no, they weren't. They were arguing. So I can see the point of views from both sides. So when I wanted to say something, when they asked me and I said something, I was wrong right away. They both answered at the same time because they didn't ask what my point of view actually was. They asked me what I saw. But they didn't want to know any more than what I saw, and actually all they wanted to hear is what they wanted to hear. And they heard it, and they were able to just skittle me away. So that's okay, because it went on, and from last year to this year, I made 800 videos. At one point, I was inside him, and I was wanted to do them. All of a sudden, November, I was like in another world, making myself up. And you know why I make myself up? And you know why I put that over my head? Okay? For the Arba. R letter, okay? H and R, the only two with the A letter before the consonant. And in H, you don't actually say the H without pronouncing the hard C with the E, because the C and E is the creation and the E passage into this world. But R is the Archangel Robot for angel resident, and it stands within its name. So you go AH, or you have the arch, and you have the H. Makes the arch with the R. The leg standing forward, that's a male god. Because the only other letter with a leg standing forward is actually the Q. She's got something stuck out of her. Well, the R has something stuck out of him. And instead of going all the way around for a Q, the R takes up one world and puts a leg down, saying he's the Archangel Raphael, is the way I saw it. And it just so happens that my name is Raphael. It just happened to go that everything that goes good in life is 10-4. I happened to be born on 10-4. Creation man symbolizes the last number of Trinity, which is 1963, and the reason for that creation is W. And the reason I'm explaining what the creation W is because it takes two U's to make that W. And two U letters is actually 21 and 21, which is 3 sevens and 3 sevens, 3 islands and 3 islands of sevens. The only one you're missing is your life. Your 3 islands, 2, 5, and 8, 15. 5 and 1 is 6, because man lives in the middle on Jupiter, the way I see it. Inside, they opened up Saturn. They took out all the little toys out of Saturn, and they placed them on Earth. They filled them with Earth. They filled up the oceans. They pushed in the mountains. They covered up the oceans with beaches, and they said, go! And man came to Earth. How it was. So yes, again with the letter R, so it's the 18th letter, which is Chai. It splits up into Trinity as 666, because 18 is 666. 6 is actually, the 6th letter is FFF. Okay, F off. But the 6th letter, okay, number 6, is also confined into the combination of 15, where 1 and 5 is 6. That would be the O. And then again, 2 and 4, the 24th letter is an X. And 2 and 4 is 6. And F is 6. You get F-O-X. Fox. Fox. Man is a fox. You know why? Do you know where the foxhole is? Right here. Man goes all the way around. And the foxhole is right here. Fox 45. Okay. Now, if you want to know the number card of this, I never did it before. I can tell you that the 5 in words, okay, gives you a 42 number count. It also equalizes to the 9, because the 9 and 5 are always together. The 5 is the percentage of the 9 birth, which creates the 6 man connected to the angle spirit of the electronic world 4, okay, in system beta 2 of alpha connect 1 spirit red to 6 man, making the 7 God, okay. This passage over here also, okay, which is not seen, it's an unforeseen passage, is also called passage number 7. Why? Because on the 6th card you have 1 here, 1 here, 1 here is 3, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here is 3. So these 3 and these 3 are all the same, but this one's different, so you can't say it's a 3, so it's the 7th one. So it's the 7th place. On the ace would be right here, in the center of the 5 card. So this is area 5 because 5 is central to everything, right? Well, not really, because it should actually be here, the 5. Okay? But anyways, in the short count, 1 and 3 is 4, and 8 is 12. And this 4 makes 16. Total is 16. These add up to 16. 1 and 6 is 7. The 5 card represents the 7, just like I said. Okay? And in 2 years from now, 5775, October and 5775, 2014 October, just because of the numbers I'm pulling out of a hat, things and signs I see, they just, you know what I do? I say, okay, yeah, this goes over here, and this goes over here, and I just have to keep classifying the numbers. Well, this definition went with this number, and this definition went with this number, and this definition, oh, look, 0, and love. They both have a number count of 54. Wow. 54, 52 cards in the deck, and if you play with a good friend of yours, he'd have a joker. That's his avatar, and you would have your joker as your avatar, because you can't enter the game. Then you take your avatar jokers, you throw them back into the deck, you become the live man that manipulates all the other cards. So you, in actuality, are the avatar joker, and you have a name, Sonar. And it's easy for you to have that name Sonar 5, because that's pretty easy. You're in the center, and all you got to do is fill it from all sides. That Sonar position 5 gives you the connections to all sides around you, which is 8 positions. 45 degrees, 360 degrees, you got it all covered. So you chose the name for whichever reason it goes with you. So now I get 1 year down, and I was acting like a crazy here, and I wasn't, because sometimes I don't tend to always watch myself and what I do. I just go and do. I feel it, I got to do it, let's do it. However it comes out, it comes out. If the good Lord has something he wants to say through me, however it's going to come about, whatever anybody's going to say, the minute somebody takes upon themselves to write something back, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, I have made a reaction inside of them. To turn me on is to have a reaction inside of you. You had a feeling, you had a thought, you weren't sure. Did it really matter? At the end, you were listening to these words. So what's happening now in the world? Lenin went on by November 11th, 2011. That marked my day from in the introduction, from the sighting of the Mary Jesus. That marked 6 years, 6 months, 6 days from that Lenin, which, okay, at 6 and 9 is the birth percentage. They turn around. 6-9 is the month of February. Also, from the 11-11-11 to February 14th, okay, which is 3 months away, and 3 days, which is 303, which is actually a pig's pregnancy. I think it's supposed to be 333 if I remember. November to December to January to February, 21, 22, 25. Oh, we'd be into March right now, right? 11. Hold on a second. 11. 3 weeks is 21 days. Yeah, we'd be into March. It's something like, I already predicted this to come in February, but my calculation is off for till the beginning of March. Because a pig's pregnancy, which a pig is a passage, the nose connecting the two worlds together, it's 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days for their pregnancy. And because they talk about in the Bible the pig and the Jew about the pig, and the 3 little pigs and the wolf about the pig, and the wolf came to blow the house down. So I have to say, okay, so what about the pig? Okay, the pregnancy and everything in this world is about 333, and that's the pig's pregnancy. And Buddha celebrates and supports this little piggy. My first job I ever got was delivering 1 million pigs and feeding them all for 20 years of my life. Just all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And I like to zoom right in. I study things. I'm going to do some stuff maybe on the 6 card, the 5 card. I don't know where I want to go yet. There is something about your telephone dialing. The reason why the Chinese think 888 is the strongest number is because the 1 spirit and the 7 God passage, which is in the same area, is everything to life. 7 and 1 is 8. Okay. So 1, 4, and 7, the 1 and 7 in roulette are both red, but the 8 is black because it's the 1 spirit and the 7 passage, okay, that gave the black his life. That's why we have to call it blackjack, okay, that's why we call it blackjack. Valentine's Day happens to be the 45th day of the year, Fox, okay. Valentine's Day has a 102 letter count, and that's the same number for 1 suit in blackjack. 1 suit in blackjack, 102. Now, poker has a suit count of 105. Why is that? Because we use the ace as the last card after the king, making it 14. Leaves the suit value at 105, and 4 suits give you a value of 420, and that's the number of words you can use on Facebook. And I know it sounds really silly. I listen to the guy, you know, he's telling me coincidence, my friend, is all part of creation. Everything bumps into each other because it came from, that's where it came from. They went down the same road to be where it was before, but where you are now for what we see. Does that, do you understand what I'm saying? The road has been passed before, okay? It was a different letter because it was a different time. So it just changes it ever so slightly. But the angle of the road is always the same. Otherwise, if it wasn't, when was the last time you noticed there was more than 24 hours in one day? Or are we able to notice? Hey, my screen disappeared. Hey, Screeny. Ah, you came back. Yeah, so there's just so much. There's green on this, right? But you won't see any green on any cards. Because it's a type of, I think it's a, our cards are electronic. The cards you see that we play with, okay, all the suits are electronic. But what I was going to do, I usually don't do this. My cat is right here. I don't have a pen. I got this. Okay. I'm going to show you what the cards are used for. Okay. This is a king. This is a king. This makes 2 walls of man. Down here, it's the passage into the other world. Man crosses. I didn't finish off this line, but man goes around this triangle. Now, what I'm going to show you next, okay, is now we got 3 of them. This is the cap that the Hebrews wear, okay, that caps off this part over here. So man, when he drives down the road, he goes around and he comes back because this is our life, okay. At the same time, okay, I'm going to try and show you that now that's where your 3 kings came from, okay. Your 4th king is down here, but that's not your life in your brain, okay. This is your exit life over here, but this is to just go around that baseball diamond, okay. Man's life, okay, I'm going to show you. The Christ energy comes from up here. It goes through here. This is sonar 5 position right here. Okay? It connects 4 over to 6. But the only 2 things that are really alive is the beta world and the other side of your mind. Okay? The 3 sides of your mind. This is the club. This is the reason for the club. Now you ask yourself a question. So now we have the kings. Where are the queens? Well, the queens are very simple. Here's the queen. Sonar 5. This little, okay, she's got, why does she get to do that? Because she gets to poke it right in this corner because that's the birth corner. That's why she pokes it down there. Don't forget the Q follows with the U letter. And you only get the U letter out of 9. 3 times 3 is 9. QC. The U is the 21st letter. 2 and 1 is 3. Means creation. So you get connected here, so you run here, you go down here, and then we just keep going around in life. This is just keeps turning and turning and turning. This is Jupiter. I call Jupiter planet. So now you got the Q, okay? But there's more than one of these Qs, okay? Because if you looked at my program with the 8 card, there are 4 parts, okay, in the center of the 8 card that they go around. They're all Q corners. They all turn. The center of everything must turn so that you're in the right program. Okay? So now I'm going to show you what happens to where the jacks come from, and then I'm going to let you go. Okay. This is where the jacks come from. This is a C, this is a C letter, okay? Inside the C, okay? Inside the C, okay, there are these numbers. Now what happens, we're going to put the Christ energy in. Okay? So we're going to come ahead and we're going to put the Christ energy all the way through it. Okay? Where is it? Okay, we put the Christ energy all the way through it. Now you see this bar? Then I'm 4 to 6 because the Christ energy comes down and the only living thing is the 6th man. Opposite of his 10 partner, 4. So what I do is I cross that line all the way through. And what happens is there's a jack. On this side, there's a jack. On this side, there's an upside down jack here, an upside down jack here. And that's why we have Jack, Queen, King. The rest of it comes out of the numbers, okay? Love, the only way to love is to put a line around everything. And now why do we have a jack on this? Because the 7 and 4 is 11, equals 2. 9 and 6 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 2, 6. You ever hear the terminology 622-6? Look it up. This is one of the reasons. 626. Anyways, so this is how everything is created, and basically, I just giving you a couple of things, and I draw a lot. I don't know, like that little picture there. I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, you can see it. And it's very funny if you take a look at the top left, in between like that shoe. Okay, there's a lady with yellow hair. Below it, it says Anachi. Okay, 7 years ago, it said Anachi on it. And I wrote that Anachi, and I designed that, and I had no idea. I just knew that I had to put Anachi somewhere. I don't even know what it means, but I will look it up after this. Get your sonars out. I hear them coming. Why? Because it's quiet. Does it matter if they are coming? No. At least you know. You're aware. It's good to be aware. It's good to care, and it's good to share. Is there anything else we should watch and beware? Before the big bad wolf comes, they call him a bear. I swear.